Beautiful Old Age by D.H.Lawrence, 1885 to 1930. It ought to be lovely to be old, to be full of the peace that comes of experience and wrinkled ripe fulfilment. The wrinkled smile of completeness that follows a life lived undaunted and unsoured with accepted lies. They would ripen like apples and be scented like pippins in their old age. Soothing old people should be, like apples when one is tired of love, fragrant like yellowing leaves, and dim with the soft stillness and satisfaction of autumn. Soothing like apples when one is tired of love, and a girl should say, "It must be wonderful to live and grow old. Look at my mother, how rich and still she is." And a young man should think, "By Jove, my father has faced all weathers, but it's been a life." Okay, this poem is by D.H.Lawrence. He's a British poet and author. He's most famous for Lady Chatterley's Lover. I think he came from Nottinghamshire. So what's this about? Well, this poem is about what he thinks old age should be. He's not necessarily saying it is like that, but this is how he would like to be in old age, and the wonderful things that come with being old. So it ought to be lovely to be old. So clearly he's not old yet and he doesn't have experience in this, but it ought to be lovely to be old, to be full of the peace that comes from experience and wrinkled ripe fulfilment. So yes, once you've had experience of things and you know about life, then you have a lot of experience and you take things much more calmly. And wrinkled ripe fulfilment. Yeah, you feel satisfied at all the things you've done. You've lived a ripe life. So fruit is ripe, is when it's ready to eat. And wrinkled, here, I love this metaphor, wrinkled ripe fulfilment. Fruit, when it becomes mature or goes over mature, becomes slightly wrinkled. Yeah, and this is here a metaphor that wrinkled between the wrinkled skin and a mature piece, ripe piece of fruit ready to eat. The wrinkled smile of completeness that follows a life lived undaunted and unsoured with accepted lies. Okay, so a smile of completeness. So an old person, when they smile, their skin is full of wrinkles. Yeah, and you only get that after living a full life. A life where you haven't been daunted, you haven't been made afraid, you haven't held back, your life hasn't been made bad with accepted lies. So the lies that society tells us, the lies that society wants us to believe, that our leaders or that the status quo wants us to believe. Yeah, so an old smile that after a life where you haven't been afraid of doing what you think is right. It hasn't been made sad by the accepted untruths of life. They would ripen like apples and be scented like pippins in their old age. So old people will ripen like a ripe apple and become scented like pippins. A pippin is a type of apple. Cox's orange pippins in their old age. So here we've got a simile, like apples. Like apples, when they're ripe, they gain this smell, this full smell. Soothing old people should be. So old people need to calm the fears and help young people to relax and know that everything's going to be all right. Like apples when one is tired of love. Okay, so maybe when love is dying or love has finished, then eating apples is certainly a good way to not think about it, to relax about it. So, old people should be soothing, like in the same way that apples could soothe you, could make you feel relaxed or less unhappy when things are bad. Fragrant, like yellowing leaves, and dim with the soft stillness and satisfaction of autumn. So here, again, all of this is a metaphor or a simile, because it's got like, comparing old people with yellowing leaves. So the leaves of a plant, when it's going to die, when it reaches its point, it starts to yellow. And then we have this dim with the soft stillness and satisfaction of autumn. So here he's comparing autumn, which he considers a soothing, relaxing, calm month, where you have the satisfaction of all of the abundance of different fruits that have come from plants and things like that. Yeah, so the soft stillness and satisfaction of autumn. But dim, yes, you're not as energetic as you used to be. Yeah, and autumn is not as energetic as summer was. Soothing, like apples, when one is tired of love. So, apples, maybe you could contemplate an apple, and maybe it will distract you from the end of a love affair. And now he goes on to talk about how people might feel, how a girl might feel about her mother, how a boy might feel about his father. And a girl should say, it must be wonderful to live and grow old. Yeah, so in this way then young people, young girls would say it's going to be a wonderful thing to live a long life and grow old and have experience. Look at my mother, how rich and still she is. So here rich is not talking about money, it's talking about a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of satisfaction, a wealth of experience, a wealth of things done. And still means calm, relaxed, unmoving. So see how she knows all about all sorts of things, and see how relaxed she is about life. And a young man should think, by Jove. Okay, this is an exclamation. It's rather old-fashioned nowadays. Sounds a bit posh. By Jove. By Jove. My father has faced all weathers, but it's been a life. And the young man should look at his father and look at his face and say, my father has dealt with all types of problems, all types of things, good things and bad things. But he's led a full life. He's done all sorts of wonderful things. So there you go. I quite like this poem. I think it's quite a good one. Beautiful Old Age by D.H.Lawrence. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Beautiful Old Age by D.H.Lawrence.